Okay, so over the last 3 sort of months, I have been learning to fly FPV, and probably in the most unconventional way possible, purely for you guys, and also for a bit of fun at the end of the day. I'm in the lucky sort of situation with the company in that we have all these gadgets at hand, and I have been basically progressing my way up from left to right to sort of get an idea for the best way to learn FPV. And in no way is this a tutorial or me saying get all of these, because that would be bloody expensive. Not a chance would I recommend that to anyone. But I'm just going to talk through each of them, show some footage, talk about my experiences, and yeah, that's it. So come along for the ride. If you're learning a bit of FPV, hopefully you'll take something from this. If not, maybe just enjoy some of the footage and the fun videos of me getting to grips with the world of first-person view drones. Okay, so off the bat, I started with this, which is the Beta FPV. It comes in sort of around 100, 150 pounds, and it's basically just a mini FPV for practicing on, getting used to using goggles, getting used to using a controller with switches, that sort of thing. And it's really handy, it's really fun, and it's good, I think, if you're a bit anxious or a bit cautious about spending money on these sort of drones. It's good to just see is FPV for me, you know? And if you enjoy it, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm ready for the next stage. If you're like, do you know what? It's not, that's, you know, I had fun, but it's not for me. I kind of like normal drones, or I'm not too interested in this side of drones. And that's fine, that's why that's good. You've only made a small investment and you're there. And also, you know, it's there in the house and it's really fun to play with. So once I'd done that, my next stage was simulator. Spam the simulator. I think if you're gonna try and really get into the world of FPV properly, then you'd just be silly to not start with the simulator. You'll pick up bad habits. You'll probably crash some drones if you don't use the simulator. I just used the DJI FPV simulator. It worked very well for me personally, because I was going to be using these goggles and I used this controller as well. And so that's what I did, and then eventually worked my way up to my first flight with the DJI FPV. It was quite a windy day, but I got through it. I didn't really go into acro mode, especially just as the conditions weren't right and maybe I wasn't quite confident yet. But it was really good to see that I wasn't getting motion sickness anymore. I was able to keep my head straight. I think that's a really big thing if you're flying FPV. You don't want to be looking around with the goggles. If you keep your head straight, you know, you're in control of yourself and you're in control with what you're doing with the drone. And so that's essential. And so that was what it was really good for. But then after I'd done that, I was ready to move on to what we have here, which is the iFlight Protea 35, and this is a cinewhoop. You get a cinewhoop, you get freestyles, you get quite a lot of different FPV quads. The idea of a cinewhoop is basically just to capture smooth footage. As you can see, you've got some propeller guards type thing, so you're quite confident flying it near people, objects, indoors, all that sort of thing. It can go in acro mode, but they suggest that, well, I saw a video suggesting it, that you don't do that without the GoPro. Don't do that with the GoPro, as you know, flips and tricks and stuff are good, but it's not really what this drone is designed for. What I would say quickly in terms of DJI FPV versus a GoPro is the footage is better. On the GoPro you can get an attachment and then put the GoPro on the top, and then you're really lucky in that you just got some of the best footage going through your goggles. But at the same time, you know, you're risking losing your drone and your GoPro, and there's no prop guards with the DJI FPV. So these are things to consider, but I think that's another video personally, DJI FPV versus other FPV, normal FPV drones, so look for that. Another quick thing is obviously 20-minute battery time, so if you're wanting to practice, this is good because you'll get more time in the air. And then also if you're wanting to do cinewhoops, freestyle drones, you're going to need to learn about the world of LiPo batteries, which it's a bit of a learning curve. It's not too bad. Once you get the idea, you just got to be a little careful. So anyway, for a bit of fun, we're going to cut to me up in our training facility in Lucas Fife and see my first day and then my best footage from my first week with the Protea. It's a good bit of fun, so let's go to that. Okay guys, exciting day. We've got the iFlight Protea 35. It's going to be my first flight with it and with this whole setup, so very scary but very exciting at the same time. I'm going to start just without the GoPro to start off with, get used to flying it, keep it low, put it near the grass, all those safety things. I've got Ross as my spotter. He's over there in shades with a monster, naturally. And yeah, so we'll just see how it goes. And then we've got a few batteries, so we'll build our confidence up slowly, hopefully, provided no crashes. Are you ready?
Born ready.
Oh, fuck. I need to adjust the angle of the camera. It's quite...
You want to bring it down and adjust it?
Yeah, because I'm used to like flying it fast, but...
Turn it. Right, I'm cutting that.
Yeah, I need to lower the angle of the camera, because... Yeah, I'll bring it down. I'll try. Yeah, don't worry. I'll think of the best plan of attack. One sec. What landing? That was class. Okay, so I've adjusted the camera angle a wee bit because I was being a bit premature. I'm putting it at a bit too much of an angle, so I'm used to flying at speed in the simulator. Still gonna keep going without the GoPro, get the GoPro on soon, and then maybe play around a bit. We'll see how we get on. Okay. Take two. Yeah, that's a lot better already. Okay, it's first two flights, very successful. We're just got the second battery in, we're gonna have another go with that, just get used to flying it, and then third battery, have a go with the GoPro and see what it's like flying with the GoPro and see what cool shots we can get as well. Okay. Okay, so I've mounted our GoPro with its cool little cover that kind of goes with the Protea. It's a cinewhoop. I didn't know if I mentioned that before. So not really for tricks and flips and stuff, more just for smooth, cool flying, eventually through some gaps and things like that. I've put an ND filter on the GoPro, and I've got all the GoPro settings set for FPV flying, and then I'll be using Real Steady in post to improve the footage, as the flying's pretty sketchy to start off with. So let's see what it's going to be like flying with the GoPro, how much of an adjustment I'll need, and someone's shouting at their dog. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's get this in the air, have a bit of fun, and this will be the final couple of flights. So, sick. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed some of the footage there. Some of it was a bit sketchy. I think, you know, you've got to really push the boundaries, but also be cautious at the same time. It's a weird sort of, it constantly fluctuates. You think you've got it and then it just takes one bad thing. I have crashed it a couple times, and it's only been through transmission before you think there's dodgy flying going on. I think that will come later when I get more confident. As you see, as I said, you know, there's a bit of a balance. But yeah, when you're flying, obviously don't stand behind buildings, you'll lose transmission. You'd think that sounds obvious, but it probably is, but I sometimes would forget. But yeah, so that was my kind of journey. I would definitely not suggest doing that, as I said earlier. I think you've got to think about what you want from FPV. Are you wanting something simple where you don't need to worry about LiPo batteries and that sort of thing? Because this setup, you know, because we just used the goggles from the DJI FPV to use with the Protea, and then we had to buy the controllers separately. And then, you know, if you want to buy the GoPro and then the batteries and the drone, that setup is going to be more expensive than DJI FPV in the long run. But then you've also got the option of repairs, which comes a lot easier with this drone compared to the DJI FPV drone. It just looks a lot more scary to try and crash. You don't try and crash, it just looks a lot more scary to crash. But yeah, these are all factors to think about. If you've got any questions or anything to bring up on any of these drones or the process, please let us know down in the comments. We'd love to address them. I think the next stage for me personally is going to buy a freestyle quad. I've been looking at the iFlight Nazgul Evoke. So let me know if anyone's flown that, or if you have any other suggestions. I would definitely do like a research naturally. And then I think that's just, I think for me the cinewhoop appeals the most. Just slow, nice footage going through gaps. You know, good bit of fun. But I would like to have a go with the freestyle quads, you know, get into the tricks and spins and really push the speed at times. And I think it will just help the skills overall. So I think that's why I want to delve into that. It definitely maybe won't be my be all and end all, but we'll see. But thank you for watching. Please let us know if you want to see any other FPV stuff or anything else down in the comments. Please remember to like, subscribe, always helps us out for bringing cool and informative videos straight to you guys. And until then, we'll catch you on the next one.